everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I'm back be joined once again by Jimmy, Jake, and like always, Fluff.
Yeah, I guess I'm here.
Oh, what's going on, y'all?
What's up, beautiful people?
And as you can tell, today's another beautiful matchup where I have to impose pictures because bad camera angles. Today's matchup is Fluff versus Jake. Jake is obviously playing the SSB that we saw earlier this week, Vegeta, and Fluff is now taking his spin on Zamasu Wish from the new set 16. Guys, take it away.
How unfortunate.
Yeah, it is a little unfortunate. I had no idea what Jake's deck did. I felt like my deck was probably archetypally more predictable than what Jake's was. So, Jake, do you want to talk about your list first?
Basically, it's just good red-blue jammed in with some of the fusion pieces from the anniversary box and the Vermilion Bloodline Gogeta VR package. After playing some games and thinking about it, there's some changes I want to make, but the basic idea is that you want to put up a wall on turn 4 or 5, and whenever you fuse, you're going to be able to restand energy. I play the Majin Buu Unison that lets me restand energy. There's a Goku that when I fuse with it, I get to restand in energy. At the end of the turn, that is, for all these. So basically, I want to tap out on my turns and then have energy come back for free to defend myself. And just from turn 4 to turn 7, push my opponent and then end the game with turning the tide or something like that.
Bro, was that 5 in turn 1?
Yeah.
That was 5 in turn 1, but 2 of them came out of my life.
Yeah, which definitely is an eyesore. I know an unrecorded match, you had 4, which I think the most I've seen someone have was 5. So even 4 is ridiculous, though.
4, and I'm running a 60-card deck, too. So the odds that 4 are in life are not very high. And even the odds that 2 are in life are not very high. And I really do think that the Dragon Balls in life are what kind of offset this deck. I feel like if this deck did what this deck did, without the chance of there being cards in the life, this deck would be the best deck in the game.
Yeah.
So I got a question here. I see that you're running the coercion balls as well as the regular balls. Is there any reason for not running just 7 coercion balls?
If I didn't care about that Aegis package at all, beyond just charging and having blue yellows so that I can activate other god cards, then no. But I wanted to actually utilize the Aegis package. So I ran 3 coercion and then 4 regular balls. I guess I could have ran 7 coercion and then say, like, to hell with this high-end Aegis package. They'll just be sacrificed to the balls. But the problem is like sometimes you'll have a coercion in hand and no good god targets to warp off. And if you saw against Jake, when activating those 3 coercion, my only god target was the 5-drop in hand.
That's rough.
So I had to warp that off 3 times. So I only have 1 more copy of that 5-drop to work off of for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, especially if you're trying to go up the chain.
Which is one of the things that coercion does to make it difficult for you. Now, coercion is wonderful cycling, and if you don't care about that top end, then by all means go with it. That was a Goku Black Unforeseen Darkness. I'm just using this to get more draws, restand my energy, and hopefully pass turn with a Zamasu, the Eliminator ready to go. Which you can see I have 2 charged in my energy.
Which, Jake, looking at that, to me, as a player playing against that, I'm like, okay, he has another one in his hand. That's such a good card, and he's just charged 2 of them right away.
True, but my deck is so top-end heavy, I don't really care about anything that the Eliminator hits, especially now that...
you can't hit your Unison.
Exactly. So I just go straight into the 4-drop here because I know he's pretty set up for that Eliminator play. I go ahead and Awaken, get my Restand, and 1 draw, and then swing for the lead. Actually, I go for the battle card, which is very like me. I like to clean up my opponent's board and keep their options low, especially if I'm at 4 life. I'm going to make you spend energy to try and damage me if I can.
I have a book of cards in my hand currently, and I don't know what is good to sacrifice and what is good to not in this matchup, because I don't want to get rid of something that's going to help me later. And then having Jake swing and blow that double strike off by just killing the battle card, I was like, I won't waste any cards trying to protect it. And maybe I should have, because it seemed like he really didn't want me to have it.
Well, I wasn't quite sure what you needed on the field to go up the chain, and I figured you wouldn't basically I swung at the Goku Black to test how important it was to you, and after you comboed to save it, I was like, okay, he needs this to go up some kind of chain or play some type of card effect. So I just decided to put more attacks into it. Either you combo some of that book in your hand away, or I get to force you to play another one.
Yeah.
Talk about this unison, because against the right deck, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think this is going to become the new unison for Topo Lock. The unison itself doesn't do a ton. On the +2, it puts 2 Dragon Balls from the deck into the drop area, and then +0, it plays a Gawasu, but I don't even play the Gawasu in my list, honestly. But the real magic is that it's a +2 with an Empower 2. So if, say you've got a unison with 2 markers on it, your opponent's been trying to wear it down, you tap 2 energy for another unison, you play the new unison for 2 energy, it empowers 2, giving you 4, which activates its auto, which lets you clear all battle cards in rest mode.
Yeah, it's a kind of a cheaper Trunks unison effect, if you think about it that way.
Yeah. It just doesn't do much in this match against Jake, and it's not even really worth his time to push against it.
It's already got so many markers that I'm not hyper intent on killing it.
I will say, before the event, me and Fluff did a test match, and that's how I thought too. But the deck I was playing, it was a very battle card spew, and I was like, fuck, that thing is ridiculous.
And it honestly didn't come up all night.
I think so, depending on the matchups for sure.
Yeah, it didn't come up. It maybe in my last round, but it didn't really come up. Like Jake here has the
6-drop Gogeta.
The 6-drop Gogeta that can't be blocked, or that can't be KO'd. So I'm having to just deal with that. And then here you get to restand 3 energy at the end of the turn after all that. So
1 from the Boo, 1 from the leader effect, and 1 from the Goku from the anniversary box that I fused with.
Yeah. Which is really nice, basically having an effective 2-cost 6-drop on the field.
Yeah, pretty solid. That's basically the main plan. And now that I have Boo and Gogeta set up, all of your battle cards are basically underneath 2 lingering effects. Like, if you play a battle card, you don't know if I'm going to block. You don't know if I'm going to minus it out. You don't know if I'm going to put it on the bottom of your deck. And especially since you're playing battle cards with Indestructible, this Gogeta is even more powerful.
Yeah. So my solution to try to get over it is to essentially just throw the Kai out there. And let the Kai eat your board.
Yeah, pretty solid. It's also smart. I'm pretty sure you just go ahead and activate it and don't give me another swing. And
well, you would have just bottom decked it or negged it out. I mean,
I don't know if that was on camera before, but I've had an opponent play the Kai on me and then swing with a different battle card while I had the Boo on board, trying to go for full value. and I just put the Kai on the bottom of their deck, which removed it from the game.
Jake,
Yeah.
you talking shit?
I didn't mention your name, but if you want to cop to it, then go ahead.
I'm still here. I can hear all of this.
I didn't say Jimmy did it. I said an opponent.
Well, you didn't -1 against me. You negged the shit out of it, and I was really upset.
Oh yeah, sure.
It was upon arrival of the 2 cooler cards that I realized that I was in trouble. Not necessarily because they're coolers or because of the particular board state, but more based on the idea that now my indestructible chain doesn't matter. And I lost the top end chain after investing 2 energy and 2 battle cards establishing it.
Yeah.
So they say Tyranny's cost rip? Wow.
Yeah, for 4.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big Tyranny's cost.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's one of those cards that, like, reading it sometimes doesn't sound all that great because it's like, oh, my opponent still has, a book of cards in hand. But if you put it in perspective, anytime you can pay 2 energy to draw 2 cards and your opponent drops 4 is good value no matter what. It doesn't matter what situation it is.
You could pay 6 energy for that, and you can argue that it's still a good card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt a lot. Having to choose, and then that really tested the knowledge of my deck at that point, because I had to kind of guesstimate what was going to be good for the rest of the match and what was going to be bad for the rest of the match. Based on that, losing 4 or 5 cards out of your hand never feels good.
Yeah, it's always rough.
Which, going back, maybe at that point, I purposefully try to keep my hand around that 11 card mark.
That way you can get underneath Tyranny's cost in the red-blue matchup specifically.
And I save, that Goku Black might still be on the field or whatever.
Yeah. Looking back at seeing the Turles all too easy into your energy, I think swinging with both coolers might have been a mistake, but it's just something I kind of had to do in the moment. I didn't want you to go all the way up that chain.
Hey, Jake, I just want to let you know that I like your frog.
Yeah, it's my 5K from B.
I like him. He's my favorite part of this match so far.
Thanks, man.
Also not seeing a ton of negates, despite my hand being extra large. So I'm also kind of just at your mercy here in a lot of ways. So I'm having to kind of play through what I can play through and move from there.
So here, Fluff actually responds to Secret ID, which is why he got untapped and tapped again. And this Goku Steadfast would be in play when Secret ID procs, so I just chose to remove it instead of the Turles.
Yeah.
Because I can just rip the Turles off the board with Boo next turn if I need to, but I'm just going to go ahead and put Topo into him and see if anything, see if I can just get him for free, which I do.
Yeah, at this point, I'm kind of feeling the pressure, and I kind of feel like the game's already done. There's not much that I can do about trying to get through a second Boo Unison, besides try to play through it. Like, I do have a Goku Dragon Fist in hand, or I did before I charged it. But I'm just kind of doing what I have to do here. Trying to make the survives, trying to draw to see what I can get. Hopefully I can get some kind of negate in my hand. I will say, going back at this and changing this list, one thing that I want to do is I want to add a couple more negates to the deck and a couple more relevant cards. Like, you can see the Black Power Kamehameha and my energy there. I didn't use that Black Kamehameha all night. I think once did it ever come up. And I'm running it at a 4 of. So it definitely is going to get dropped to probably a 2 of, and then become a sideboard option for other matchups.
Yeah. And here, I'm going to respond to this Dragon Fist. I'm going to make sure I tap my energy correctly. There we go. For the Golden Ape. And I'm just going to not worry about the counterplay aspect. I'm just going to use the auto of the ape to bottom deck Dragon Fist.
Yeah. So no matter what, I lose the Dragon Fist there. That was kind of my Hail Mary to try to play through the Boo. Don't really have anything after that, so I just passed the turn. I think I swung with the Unison just to see if I could get through on damage. But my hand's starting to feel a little bit low, especially for this deck, particularly. And I kind of gentleman's agreement on Jake here to just combo out and assured him that I did not have a Vegeta's Final Flash in hand to stop him.
Yeah, he was pretty upfront. I mean, I think at this point, like after the second Boo came online, and then especially after Dragon Fist got countered, I think you were like, okay, I would scoop here if this wasn't a camera game, but let's just go ahead and finish things out.
I would have 100% scooped. It was very much at that point like just done.
Yeah.
Even have a super combo in hand, but it doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah, I think listening back on the video, because I remember when I was trying to get the link for this video and get where it's at, I think I heard you say like I don't have Final Flash, and Jake's like, okay, 65, and you're like, yeah, that's it, I can't do anything. Like,
yeah.
So that is today's matchup. Hope you all enjoyed that. Keep in mind his buttons down below and on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
It's a very difficult match for Yellow to overcome, but Jake played the game incredibly well. He played it as if he was playing against good Yellow, which is essentially the right way to play it. So kudos to him for taking this win. As always, read your cards, know your plays. Let us make mistakes.
Wait.
Shut up.
I thought you were turning heel. Why are you giving this man props?
I am not turning heel, sir. I don't need to degrade myself to that level. Just because you like to eat shit and you smell like it all the time doesn't mean that I have to.
I mean, I am working on a Loathsome Dung Eater cosplay, just saying.